The Order of Souls, the faction where you dispel cursed beings who still walk even after death. Fight through crews and armies of skeletons, ghost ships, and skeleton lords, retrieving their cursed objects and skulls for the Order of Souls. This is the ultimate guide to the Order of Souls. Order of Souls reputation, like most other reputation, goes from level 1 to 500, with a distinction every 101 levels, totaling for 5 distinctions. Reaching the max level takes dedication and cannot be reached overnight. The grind is slow and should be fun. Rewards end at level 100 other than a few titles and 1 ring per distinction. The last quest is unlocked at level 45, so there is no need to rush. Reputation levels in Sea of Thieves are exponential, which means it gets harder to obtain levels the closer you get to level 100. Level 42 is roughly halfway to level 50. Reputation can be gained in a variety of ways. Loot items are the main way to gain reputation XP. Commendations give a small amount of XP. Letters of recommendation give exactly 1 level of reputation and can only be purchased once a month for 30 doubloons. Lowering an Order of Souls emissary flag when above level 2 gives XP, and completing quests gives a small amount of XP. Reputation can be multiplied in a few ways. The emissary flag increases reputation and gold earnings by 33% for level 2, 66% for level 3, 100% for level 4, and 150% for level 5. Gold Rush is an event that happens twice daily. Gold Rush boosts rewards by 50% and is stackable with emissary bonus, but will not happen when the next 2 events are happening. Golden Glory, Gifts and Glory, and Ghoul and Glory gives double rewards, plus 100%, to all loot sold during the event. Golden Glory happens a few times a year. Community Day/Weekend gives a maximum of 2.5 times, or 150% rewards, on all loot sold during Community Day. Happens once per season. These events do not affect the reputation gained by a letter of recommendation. Quests are the main and most efficient way to gain reputation, and is what pirates do most for XP. Depending on what quest you pick for your voyage dictates what loot you will receive. Rare loot can be found from higher level voyages, which will take longer and be harder than shorter, easier quests. Diving to a quest takes out the need to find the islands that you need to go to, but you lose all loot item except supplies, supply crates, and spears. An Ashen quest takes part in the Devil's Roar, a much more dangerous region with volcanoes, but all loot there will be ashen and sell for roughly double the normal counterpart. A raid quest has you dive to an event. On your Order of Souls quest, you will be tasked with fighting and dispelling different types of skeletons. Here are the types of skeletons, and how to defeat them. Normal skeletons. These skeletons are run-of-the-mill. They have no weaknesses and have no strength. Just shoot, stab, or blow up to defeat. Plant skeletons. They are weak to blades, but heal when wet. Keep them away from the water for an easy victory. Gold skeletons are very weak to water, as their frankly fake gold rusts when wet. They have higher defense to blades, so guns, explosives, and fire are the best way to take those ones out. Shadow skeletons are invincible at night, unless you know the trick to light them up with your lantern or cannon flares. There are subtypes of shadow skeletons that are always invincible unless you light them up with a proper colored flame. Ashen skeletons are mostly found in the Devil's Roar and have a mild immunity to fire. Not a lot of immunity, making fire still a good way to take them out. But other than that slight immunity, they're just like a normal skeleton. Skeleton captains have higher health than a regular skeleton, and can be any of the other types of skeletons I've listed, and a few others. Emergent skeleton captains always drop either a villainous bounty skull or an ashen villainous bounty skull upon death. Skeleton lords are much stronger skeletons with abilities, and can swap through a sword and a pistol. They have a lot of health, so bring food and prepare to fight. Their abilities include teleporting to a random spot nearby, summoning a small army of skeletons to fight, a slam attack that does huge area of effect damage, with massive knockback. The closer you are, the more damage and knockback is taken. Some skeletons are not found in the Order of Souls quest, but are still worth knowing. Obsidian skeletons, unlike Ashen skeletons, are completely immune to fire, and ally with anyone manning the Burning Blade. Gold Hoarder skeletons are the same as regular skeletons, but are found during the Shores of Gold, and during Treasure Vault voyages for the Gold Hoarders. Coral skeletons are the same as regular skeletons, but are found in a few Tall Tales, and during the Quest of the Skull of the Siren Song voyage. Ancient skeletons are extraordinarily rare and spawn with a unique sound. These skeletons are the only way to get ancient coins without spending real-world money. Find and kill these as fast as possible to claim your reward of ancient coins. Ashen Lords are similar to Skeleton Lords, but have a few extra attacks and are immune to fire. Their extra attacks include throwing a fire rock at you, doing a small amount of damage, or throwing a larger fire boulder up in the air, arcing down at you, doing more substantial damage. If you are hit nearby or dead on, it'll light you ablaze. A fire-breathing attack, doing massive amount of damage if you're within the flame. A lunge attack, doing massive knockback and around about 50% of your health. A smack attack when you are too close for too long, dealing around about 50% of your health. They summon skeletons like a Skeleton Lord, but they summon more the lower their health gets. An ash cloud, lowering visibility and sounds. When the Skeleton Lord reaches phase 2, it unlocks a shockwave attack that does much more knockback than a Skeleton Lord's, and it lights players on fire if close enough. During phase 3, it unlocks the Ashen Tornado attack that sends fiery rocks down from the sky, most similar to a volcano. A bounty for a skeleton crew. Fight through a few waves of normal, plant, shadow, gold, and ashen skeletons if you're in the Devil's Roar. After defeating a few waves, the crew leader appears. Defeating him will drop one corrupt bounty skull, selling for a max total of 2,460 gold. Bounty for a skeleton captain. Fight and destroy a few waves of normal, plant, shadow, gold, and ashen skeletons if you're in the Devil's Roar. After defeating the waves, 3 skeleton captains will spawn. Defeating them will drop 2 dark bounty skulls and 1 corrupt bounty skull, selling for a max of 4,560 gold. A bounty for a skeleton lord. Dispel a skeleton lord by fighting through a few waves of normal, plant, shadow, gold, and ashen skeletons if you're in the Devil's Roar. After defeating a few waves, the skeleton lord appears. Defeating it will drop 3 dark relics, including the Hexing Skull, the Mutinous Effigy, and the Bewitching Doll, and 1 corrupt bounty skull, selling for a max of 7,590 gold. If it is an Ashen Voyage, the dark relics will be different. It'll either be an Evil Eye or an Enchantment Vessel, plus the Ashen version of the corrupt bounty skull. A battle with a Ghost Armada. Banish 2 waves of ghost ships. The first wave will have several ghost galleons circling an island, taking them out one by one until the portal opens. And when they all return to the Sea of the Damned, 3 flagships will spawn, with one being the Ghost Captain ship. Banishing this ship will end the voyage, with the other flagships leaving with their loot. Leaving the Ghost Captain for last and banishing the other 2 flagships rewards the most loot. The flagships drop 2 Skulls of the Damned, and the Ghost Captain drops 2 Skulls of the Damned and 1 Captain's Skull of the Damned, totaling a max of 10,450 gold. The Order of Souls Emissary quest gives 4 Skeleton Captain bounties, giving 2 Vile Bounty Skulls and 6 Vicious Bounty Skulls, selling for a total max of 25,000. Gilded Voyage for the Order of Souls gives 6 parchments, 4 of which are for Skeleton Captains and 2 are for Skeleton Lords. Each captain drops 1 Wrathful King's Skull, and both skeleton lords drop 1 Wrathful King Skull and 3 All-Seeing Eye of Souls, totaling a max of 152,400 gold. Message in a Bottle quest. When picking up a message in a bottle, there is a chance for a bounty quest with 2 to 4 captains. Each drops a Wrathful King Skull. Mysterious journals are long forgotten. They were designed around Sea of Thieves quests back when the level cap was 50, not the 500 it is today. Mysterious journals are found on islands and give a map with 1 to 4 skeleton captains that spawn low tier loot such as foul, disgraced, hateful, bounty skulls. Rarely they spawn higher tier loot such as a villainous bounty skull. These skeletons also have a much higher health than other quest skeletons. Raids. A raid on a skeleton fort. Dive to a sea fort. Defeat waves of phantoms until the final captain. Once he's defeated, use the key to open the treasure room at the bottom of the fort. The vault contains 3 hateful bounty skulls, 2 corrupt bounty skulls, and 2 dark bounty skulls, totaling for a max of 9,270 gold. Searching around the fort, opening crates, boxes, drawers, and cabinets, you can find the storeroom key. The storeroom contains 2 villainous bounty skulls for a max of 2,900 gold, totaling 12,170 gold. A raid on a skeleton camp. Dive to a skeleton camp, explore below the ground, complete constellations with the Stargazer. Afterwards, defeat a few waves of skeletons. Once the captain is defeated, the vault door will open, containing 1 Veiled Eye of Souls, 1 Villainous Coral Skull, 1 Vile Bounty Skull, totaling a max of 14,088 gold. An adventure to a sunken shrine. There are many types of shrines, so I won't get into how to complete each one. At the end, it contains 6 villainous bounty skulls, 3 dark bounty skulls, 2 corrupt bounty skulls, totaling for a max of 23,298 gold. A raid on a sunken treasury. Dive to a raid, swim to the depths, and fight off a few waves of coral skeletons, ocean crawlers, and sirens. Defeating the final captain rewards you with 3 corrupt bounty skulls, 3 villainous skulls, 3 dark bounty skulls, 2 hateful skulls, selling for a max total of 20,770. A duel with an Ashen Lord. Dive to duel an Ashen Lord. Fight the Ashen Lord and his waves of skeleton minions, with a massive fire tornado showing off your location to everyone in the server. After defeating the Ashen Lord, he'll drop an Ashen Wind Skull selling for 10k, 1 Eye of Souls, 1 corrupt bounty skull, 2 dark bounty skulls, totaling for a max of 19,560 gold. A raid on a skeleton fort. Dive to fight and destroy waves of skeletons, ending off against 3 skeleton captains and a skeleton lord, who when defeated will drop an Ashen Key, a map to an Ashen Chest, 2 villainous bounty skulls, 1 stronghold skull, and a map to a rag and bone crate, and a key to open the vault under the main room of the fort. In this vault is 1 Veiled Eye of Souls, 3 corrupt bounty skulls, 2 dark bounty skulls, 2 hateful bounty skulls, totaling a max of 28,080. A battle with the skeleton fleet. Dive and face a fleet of skeleton vessels. Take them out 1 or 2 at a time until the final fleet captain's ship. After scuttling the ships, loot will float up from the wreckage. Each skeleton ship drops 1 villainous bounty skull and a dark bounty skull. Until the captain is defeated, it will drop 1 villainous bounty skull, 1 dark bounty skull, and 1 all-seeing Eye of Souls, totaling a max of 25,000 gold. A battle with the Burning Blade Armada. Dive to banish Ghost Fleet. Fight waves of ghost ships, ending with a fight with the ghostly version of Flameheart's flagship, the Burning Blade. Battling with the other flagships called the Ashen Dragons, these flagships will drop loot when banished. 4 Ashen Dragons will spawn, dropping 2 Skulls of the Damned each. The Burning Blade drops 1 Captain Skull of the Damned, 3 Corrupt Bounty Skulls, and 1 All-Seeing Eye of Souls, totaling a max of 35,330 gold. Loot. The Foul Bounty Skull sells for 90 to 180 gold. Disgraced Bounty Skull sells for 180 to 135 gold. Hateful Bounty Skull sells for 350 to 750 gold. Villainous Bounty Skull sells for 750 to 1,450 gold. Dark Bounty Skull sells for 1,000 to 1,050 gold. Vile Bounty Skull sells for 1,500 to 1,550 gold. Corrupt Bounty Skull sells for 2,440 to 2,460 gold. Vicious Bounty Skull sells for 3,600 to 3,650 gold. Wrathful King's Bounty Skull sells for 5,100 to 5,200 gold. Foul Coral Skull sells for 158 to 315 gold. Disgraced Coral Skull sells for 315 to 631 gold. Hateful Coral Skull sells for 613 to 1,313 gold. Villainous Coral Skull sells for 1,313 to 2,538 gold. Ashen Foul Bounty Skull sells for 180 to 350 gold. Ashen Disgrace Bounty Skull sells for 350 to 750 gold. Ashen Hateful Bounty Skull sells for 750 to 1,450 gold. Ashen Villainous Bounty Skull sells for 1,450 to 2,800 gold. Ashen Dark Bounty Skull sells for 1,240 to 1,260 gold. Ashen Vile Bounty Skull sells for 1,850 to 1,900 gold. Ashen Corrupt Bounty Skull sells for 3,210 to 3,230 gold. Ashen Vicious Bounty Skull sells for 4,800 to 4,850 gold. Ashen Wrathful King's Bounty Skull sells for 5,800 to 5,900 gold. Skull of the Damned sells for 1,050 to 1,250 gold. Captain Skull of the Damned sells for 1,700 to 2,950 gold. Skeleton Captain Skull sells for 850 to 2,200 gold. Stronghold Skull sells for 1,800 to 4,200 gold. Gold Hoarder Skull sells for 10,000. Emissary bonus does not apply. Ashen Wind Skull sells for 10,000. Obsidian Ashen Wind Skull sells for 2,500 gold. Evil Eye sells for 1,952 to 1,960. Mutinous Effigy sells for 1,690 to 1,710. Enchantment Vessel sells for 1,952 to 1,960. Hexing Skull sells for 1,690 to 1,710. Bewitching Doll sells for 1,690 to 1,710. Eye of Souls sells for 5,000. Veiled Eye of Souls sells for 10,000. All-Seeing Eye of Souls sells for 15,000 gold. Sapphire Mermaid Gem sells for 1,000 gold. Emerald Mermaid Gem sells for 1,500 gold. Ruby Mermaid Gem sells for 2,000 gold. Sapphire Siren Gem sells for 1,000 gold. Emerald Siren Gem sells for 1,500 gold. Ruby Siren Gem sells for 2,000 gold. Sapphire Breath of the Sea sells for 4,000 gold. Emerald Breath of the Sea sells for 6,000 gold. Ruby Breath of the Sea sells for 8,000 gold. Orb of Secrets sells for 20,000 gold. Collector's Chest sells for 250 to 520 gold. Tridents sells for 250 gold. Horn of Fair Winds sells for 1,000 to 1,500 gold. Cannon of Rage sells for 250 gold. Commendations. Voyager of Lost Souls. Complete 250 Order of Souls voyages. Rewards: the Voyager of Lost Souls title. Easiest way to complete: is Dive to Crew Bounty Maps. Mercenary of the Ancient Order. Earn 150,000 gold with Order of Souls voyages. Rewards the Mercenary of Ancient Order title. Sailor of Whispering Bones. Sail 1,000 nautical miles on Order of Souls voyages. Rewards Sailor of Whispering Bones title. Unlocks Order of Souls bucket for purchase. Hunter of Foul Bounty Skulls. Deliver 90 Foul Bounty Skulls to the Order of Souls. Rewards Hunter of Foul Bounty Skulls title. Easiest way to complete is by finding skulls in world events or washed up on shores. Hunter of Disgraced Skulls. Deliver 180 Disgraced Skulls to the Order of Souls. Rewards Hunter of the Disgraced Skulls title. Easiest way to complete is by finding skulls in world events or washed up on shores. Hunter of Hateful Skulls. Deliver 270 Hateful Skulls to the Order of Souls. Rewards Hunter of the Hateful Skulls title. Fastest way to complete is by doing raids on a seafort or doing world events. Hunter of Villainous Skulls. Deliver 360 Villainous Skulls to the Order of Souls. Rewards Hunter of Villainous Skulls title. Fastest way to complete is by doing an adventure to the Sunken Shrine. Hunter of Cursed Crews. Defeat 180 skeleton crews. Rewards Hunter of Cursed Crews title. Hunter of Cursed Captains. Defeat 1,000 skeleton captains. Rewards Hunter of the Cursed Captains title. Unlocks rewards the Nightfall Hunter's Belt, Boots, Gloves for purchase at Grade 1. Nightfall Hunter's Trousers, Shirt, Eye Patch for Grade 2. Nightfall Hunter Pegleg Hook at Grade 3. Nightfall Hunter's Dress, Jacket, and Hat at Grade 4. Raider of Cursed Strongholds. Clear 120 skeleton forts. Rewards the title, Raider of Cursed Strongholds. Hunter of Fort Skulls. Deliver 60 skeleton fort skulls to the Order of Souls. Rewards Hunter of Fort Skulls title. Voyages of Soul. Dive to complete Order of Souls voyages. Soul Raider. Dive to complete raid voyages for the Order of Souls. All-Seeing. Sell Eyes of Souls that you or another pirate earned from completing raid voyages for the Order of Souls. Emissary of Souls. Become an emissary for the Order of Souls. Worthy Emissary of Souls. Reach Order of Souls Emissary Grade 2 100 times. Rewards Seeker of the Lost Souls title. Unlocked rewards the Order of Souls Blunderbuss, Cutlass, Pistol, and Eye of Reach for purchase. Dedicated Emissary of Souls. Reach Order of Souls Emissary Grade 3 80 times. Esteemed Emissary of Souls. Reach Order of Souls Emissary Grade 4 40 times. Unrivaled Emissary of Souls. Reach Order of Souls Emissary Grade 5 20 times. Unlocks Order of Souls Spyglass for purchase. Gathering Secrets. Sell 600 Order of Souls treasures whilst flying Order of Souls Emissary flag. Honored Mystic. Sell 320 Order of Souls treasures while flying a Grade 5 Order of Souls Emissary flag. Order's Garb. Represent the Order of Souls through your appearance while sailing as an emissary. Order's Livery. Represent the Order of Souls through your ship's appearance while sailing as an emissary. Order Through and Through. As emissary, fully represent the Order of Souls through your crew and ship's appearance. Scourge of Brutal Bastions. Defeat 10 Forts of Fortune. Scourge of the Damned. Defeat 500 ghost ships. Rewards Scourge of the Damned title. Unlocks Chest of the Damned Disguise in conjunction with the Power of 3 for purchase at Grade 3. United Against the Damned. Defeat 25 ghost ships whilst in an alliance. Voyager of Damned Souls. Complete 50 ghost ship voyages. Banisher of Spectral Flame. Defeat the ghostly Burning Blade 10 times. Rewards Banisher of Spectral Flame title. Unlocks the Burning Blade sails for purchase. United Against the Flame. Defeat the ghostly version of the Burning Blade whilst in an alliance. Hunter of Damned Captains. Sell 50 Captain Skulls of the Damned. Unlocks the Ghost Captain sails for purchase. Unleash the Damned. You must hit another cruise ship with a Wraith Ball 25 times. Skeleton ships also count. Wraith Balls can be found in the natural spawning Ghost Armadas. Distinguished Member of Order. Earn a distinction through the Order of Souls. Yo, thanks for watching this video. If you made it all the way through, you probably liked the video. Liking the video helps me a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more of what I make next. For now, my plan is to make a combat and weapons guide, but I might work on Merchant Alliance whilst I get everything ready for that. Comment anything I missed and I'll update a pinned comment. Also comment anything you'd like me to cover in the future. I have a Discord where you can ask me questions. And follow my other social, links are in the description. Bye ya.